Hey everybody, we are your hosts, Jack
Connor
and Jona.
and we are Podcast Lizard.
Hi everyone and welcome to episode 5. Since our last episode we've actually set up a YouTube channel. It's another place to upload our episodes and we've got a few clips of us playing games. It's just that Podcast Lizard. It's another way to listen if you want to do that. I know it's better for some people. In today's episode we're going to talk about one of our favourite current TV shows. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We're just going to give like a overview of it. We've all watched through the entire thing and we really recommend it. And then later on we're going to talk about some of our favourite old cartoons. To start off the episode though, we've got kind of an announcement. Connor's friend Kyle's created some artwork to represent us as lizards. How did this come about, Connor?
To begin with, the podcast, we really wanted some artwork to sort of define what our podcast was, to give it a bit of identity. And I know Kyle draws, he likes to do it in his spare time, so I thought I may as well just ask him if he would draw some people as lizards for us. That was one idea that we had. It was just a process over a couple of weeks of him. He was really quick, and so like we would give feedback to him on some drawings and he would do it like immediately, which was mint. He pretty much nailed it on like his first go of drawing the 3 lizards, which was insane. And then the rest of the couple of weeks were like just to define our individual characters, which they do look mint now. So we've started to use them for the podcast now. So like Jona mentioned in the intro, we've got a YouTube, and on our YouTube we've set up a banner with the lizards on. And just to give you a rundown of who the characters are, so we'll use the video on YouTube to showcase this. So on screen now is a picture of my lizard, and we've sort of tried to give them a bit of identity. So on the right leg of mine there's a scarf, which is like a take on episode 2 where I mentioned about the Breakfast Club. And then next is Jack's character,
Which I'm in love with.
he genuinely is. It's amazing.
I feel so passionate about mine. I've got it as my lock screen on my phone.
It's getting unhealthy now.
I love it a bit. It represents me, it embodies me. It's just me in an animation. I love it. But yeah, mine's got my mouth wide open, squinty eyes. It's got little cards on the sweater, on the jumper. Because obviously, as mentioned in the previous podcast, I'm into magic, so it's part of me.
And the third one that's coming up is Jona's.
So mine features me with a seagull on my shoulder. Also from episode 2 I told the story about when I got attacked by one walking through the town.
It's a great story, it is. I love that story. Yeah, so these are the 3 drawings that we're going to be working with. So we've been creating banners, like I said, and we've got 3 variation drawings of them. So we've got the 3 profile pictures of us, and on the 3 different types, one of our lizards is at the front. One bit of trivia with these drawings is when we got them off Kyle, we tried to scan them in, and when we were scanning them into the computer, they weren't coloured in, so Kyle hadn't coloured in the drawings, so they were just black and white sketches of the characters. So me and Jack took them to university and got them scanned in, and me and the guys spent it was a full night, just we loaded them up in Photoshop and coloured them in using like the fill tool. We spent a good night on it, didn't we?
Yeah, it was like, well, I mean, it even spanned across the second day as well, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
We were just colouring in like our individual lizards in different colour combinations to try and like match what we would typically wear, or if not close. Just
yeah.
customizing it to represent us.
And Jonah had like a bunch of variations, what kind of worked, so it was really hard to narrow his down.
Yeah, whereas I had just one, and I got hooked on the idea of my just one that I couldn't make any other colour combinations because I just liked that one. So then I started shading it, and then I sent it to them, and then they liked it with shading on. So after they picked which colour combinations they wanted, I shaded theirs in as well.
Yeah.
It turns out really well.
It really does.
They're me.
So that's the artwork for our podcast. It was a really good process of about a couple of weeks, something like that. Yeah, so I hope you all enjoy it, like it. That's our announcement of that. So moving on to topic 2. It is
Topic 2!
Always Sunny in
Yes!
Philadelphia. Give it the full
What a
name.
show.
That's so good, isn't it? Yeah, so This is a show that I introduced the guys to, and it's changed their lives for the better, I think.
So what happened with me was I refused outright to watch it for ages, didn't I?
You did? It's because you don't watch TV shows, so...
I watched no TV at all.
Yeah,
No TV at all.
took a while to break down that barrier.
It was only because I was excluded out of so much conversation when you guys were in Discord, and I was just in the call, and you were talking about it. And then when I left, you'd still have like a 2-hour conversation about it.
Oh, aye. Yeah.
And I'd always see just like little clips and stuff posted in the Discord channel, and you was laughing about certain things, and just eventually you broke me walls down, and I watched it and I loved it.
With me, it was about like well over a year before I ended up watching it. And it's not that I didn't want to watch it. I was like really hyped to watch it when you were telling us about it and singing Dear Man. But I just never got around to it really. And then it wasn't long after we started up uni again this year, I decided to give it a go, and I loved it straight away.
It's meant that, like, you've both got around to watching it. Even just for that Dear Man song, it's amazing. But it's so much more complex than that. The show is really well written. They stick to the guns, so they have like a format that they stick to, where they're like the horrible people. They only think about themselves. So the fact that you have watched it, it's really good, because it has so many moments in it that you just really want to talk to someone about.
You can get hooked straight away from season 1 as well, can't you? Because as soon as like after you watch the first season, you're like, I need to watch more.
Yeah, you kind of figure out who they are in season 1, but then it just keeps going off the rails. Like every episode just keeps getting a bit more crazier.
The way they do it as well, like even though they're some of the worst humans on the planet, the show is done in a way where you don't like dislike the characters. They're all
You're right.
somehow relatable, even though they're really weird.
The show's really good as well for having, like, when you watch a show you always have like your favourite character. But with Always Sunny there's so many like really good characters that almost everyone has like a different favourite character. So what we're going to do now is talk about the 5 main characters of Always Sunny. One that is introduced after season 1 into season 2. So we'll focus on the first 4 characters, but we'll give the next one an introduction. So who should we start with?
I think we should start with Charlie.
Right.
Charlie Day. Otherwise known as...
Charlie Day.
That's his
Charlie.
name, isn't it? That's on his
I
character
know
name.
It's like, shit. Otherwise known as... Alright, we can cut that bit out. We'll go from where you said Charlie. So Jona, start off Charlie and then we'll pitch in. Good start.
Thanks.
That's how I would start it, like.
Do you want us to start how you did start?
The day
Charlie Day.
in the Big Brother house.
Day 53 AM. Charlie's probably my favourite character from Always Sunny. From the main characters on it, at least. He's just a complete idiot, but very likeable at the same time.
He's so stupid that, like, you can get behind him and just have a laugh with him every time he's on on the screen.
What's his surname in the...
Kelly.
Ah, Kelly, that's it, yeah.
Oh, Kelly.
Ah, Kelly.
That was perfect, that. Yeah, I love Charlie too, but he's so thick. Like he can't read. I think a lot of the best episodes are centered around him.
A lot of the iconic episodes are centered around Charlie, definitely.
The
These
big
musicals.
ones. Yes.
Charlie is
Charlie Day.
cool. Charlie Day. Charlie Day.
Yeah, Charlie is a proper idiot. He can't read or write. All of his episodes that evolve around him are just like completely dumb. Like he's always the stupid one in every scenario, and then there's the other characters like Dee, who's just always the target of every joke. Like she's just the one that gets bullied all the time. She's not agree.
I do, she is.
Yeah.
Proper butt of the joke.
All episodes just evolve around listening to her practically. Well, at any moment that she's in it anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Even when she's not being in it for the whole thing, and then she like just turns up at the bar at the end of an episode, they all just start piling on her.
And then throughout the seasons, there's a few like specific episodes where they're just lace the hell into her. It's amazing. It's something that you definitely do watch if you like watching episodes of people getting picked on. Because, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Laughing at other people's misfortune is the best. But then you've got Dennis. Tell us about Dennis, Connor.
Well, Dennis is the twin brother of D. He's passive aggressive, right?
But he's a genius.
He's just like he's like an evil genius. He's one
Proper
of the people
evil
who
genius.
manipulates everyone around him to get like what he wants.
But he does it perfectly.
He really does. He always
Everything's
gains
thorough.
from episodes. He's hardly ever the one who is the butt of the joke, like his sister. He's like the instigator.
But he's the one that picks on his sister the most. It's not like he's the kind of guy to defend his sister if anyone's bullying her. Like, he will do it more than what anyone else does it, ever.
Oh, definitely. Then there is Mark, who he's all kinds of fucked up.
He is all kinds of fucked up, but he's majority of the time just there to add a bit of a laugh to things, do you not think?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's the security guard of the group. He tries to act
He
like the
thinks he's
manliest
hard.
man, but he is not. Like, he's almost the opposite.
Like, he's obsessed with karate, isn't he?
He
But he
is,
can't do
yeah.
it.
No, he can't do it. He sees he can though, but he can't. So them are the four main characters that are in season 1, and then
But then in season 2, they introduce Frank, don't they?
they introduce Frank.
Who is in throughout every season after that.
Frank is a really interesting character because he's played by Danny DeVito, which is just it's random, so random that Danny DeVito is in a show like this.
I've never had more respect for Danny DeVito in my life up until I watched this though. He's so different. This character is like completely different than any other role he's ever played in any film.
I think we were saying it the other day that the closest comparison to which other character he's played is Penguin out of Batman.
Yeah, we did.
It's the closest comparison to Frank there is.
But bear in mind that the comparison isn't close at all. It's just his closest.
They're just gross.
Yeah, really gross.
Yeah, that's the way you can describe Frank. Yeah, so the show revolves around just this gang that own a bar. The bar is called Paddy's Pub, which we do get to learn a lot more about Paddy's Pub as the seasons go on.
Squeezy bar. Crazy.
It's a really dingy pub, but like there's some episodes where they probably make it into like a really successful pub for like one episode, which
Yeah.
is it's proper crazy.
It's a proper run-down shithole, essentially, that no one ever wants to go to, but then they have the odd episode where it's super successful because of an event or something that they do.
They're bringing all this money, but it just goes nowhere.
Yeah, they end up wasting it on loads of shit that they don't need or they shouldn't be doing.
So what we're planning on doing is, this is like an introduction to the characters. We do want to come back and revisit Always Sunny in a couple of episodes and do like a recap of season 1. Just for anyone who's out there who might be wondering about watching Always Sunny, we can give enough time for them to like start watching it, you know.
Yeah,
And
we
then-
didn't really want to go to too much depth with a discussion like this in case we like spoiled anything throughout the seasons. So if you are wanting to watch it and you still want to listen to this podcast, then you can. But like in a future podcast, if you see like Always Sunny in the title or whatever, or whenever we talk about it and you haven't seen it yet, just skip through that chapter because I think from now on we might have spoilers in the episodes, but we just wanted to sort of build a foundation on like this is what we like, and we're wanting to talk about it a bit more in depth in a future episode. Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
There's no spoilers in this one, but further down the line there may be if we come back to it. So moving on from that, we can move into some TV shows that we remember as kids. So it's going to probably be majority cartoons, you know, things from Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or Boomerang. When we were kids, we all watched some absolute classics of cartoons and shows that were on the telly. There's loads I would like to mention. There's going to be a few honourable mentions that maybe we don't have time to discuss or have enough content to talk about them in too much detail, but there's quite a few things I would like to talk about. But firstly, what is one of our favourite TV shows as a kid? What is yours, Connor?
So one of mine is one that was on Cartoon Network. Like, mostly late at night, I remember. It was Courage the Cowardly Dog.
It was on super late, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like
practically like bedtime as a child.
it was really stupid. It was like you would only get a chance to watch it when like you were really lucky. Or you
I
had
think it
them
was
on like
9 o'clock or something.
yeah. Unless you had them on like video.
Or it was a Friday night and it wasn't a school night. Like, yes, I can stay up an extra hour.
That would be the dream.
At all. Yeah, that was a brilliant show.
That was so good. It's just the bunch of stuff that used to happen in that show was so like crazy.
It's quite like it's like a horror for kids essentially, isn't it? Really, like the monsters and the things that he has to face.
Definitely because
As
he like lives in the middle of nowhere, and then there's like monsters that take over like his owners and shit like that.
Yeah, it's like a
crazy,
proper
though.
nightmare.
Really is.
But it's about trying to like overcome fears essentially, isn't it? That's what you would say the kind of the symbol is in the story. Would you say?
Possibly, yeah. It's like the main character was really anxious about like everything, and it's him trying to overcome that. So yeah, probably. It's one take on it.
If there was a take anyway of it.
Yeah, it is a cartoon at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. It's just for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But he gets up to some crazy adventures. I can't really remember specifically a singular one.
Same here. Like, I really like the show, but I can't... No episodes really stick out to me.
Yeah, there was one episode that stand out for me. It was called Night of the Weremole, and it was when Muriel, the owner of Courage, she got bitten by like a mole, like a weremole, and she like gradually over the episode she turns into the weremole. So many times.
I don't remember that.
It's so good. It's like
It sounds amazing.
Courage gets the doctor for her and like brings the doctor to the house, and she ends up eating the doctor.
I'm sure I remember, like, I think I remember, like, Courage used to talk whenever he wasn't around, like, his owners, wasn't he?
Did he talk? Did he like have words though? Was it not more like grunts and that?
I feel like he had words. Like, I don't know if I'm remembering it wrong, but I feel like he did have words. I don't know.
You could be right, but I don't remember him actually like speaking.
Was he in more than, like, just Courage the Cowardly Dog shows? Was he like a character in another TV show?
I have no idea. I don't know. I can't think of
I
the
feel
top
like-
of my head.
I feel like he might have been. I don't know. I might just be making it up, but I feel like I've seen him in other things.
That would be interesting to find out.
Wasn't he like that show was like the same makers of Billy and Mandy, wasn't it? The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
I couldn't say if it was the same makers.
I think that, again, I might just be making it up, but that I've got a feeling, you know.
Right. Right in my plums.
Feel the juice running down your chin.
Probably Eastbound and Down reference there if no one knows what that is.
Down in my plums.
Let's get back to the kids' shows, right? Alright, so Jona, same question. What's one of your favourite shows?
For me, it would have to be Ed, Edd and Eddy. It's one of mine.
What a show.
It was amazing. Absolutely
Definitely.
amazing. It's definitely one of my top favourites.
Just, they used to get up with so much stupid stuff in the show. They'd always be having schemes to try and get enough money for a jawbreaker.
That was always the end goal, wasn't it? All I ever wanted was jawbreakers.
In the show, they were like huge. They're like basketball sized at least.
They were so big when they put them in the mouth to get side of the face.
Aye.
Would be bigger than the actual head. Is there any standout moments in that show?
Nothing like proper sticks out as my favourite from the whole thing, but if I had to pick a moment or an episode, it'd be the one where Rolf Scott, Victor, mows all the gardens around the cul-de-sac and they all have like super tall grass.
I love that episode.
Each turn's like gigantic, like super inflated. And I think it's Eddie's like riding around on him, just rolling him along. And
I think I remember it's like some like super compost that got chucked around that like made the grass grow like super high, like above the houses, didn't it?
yeah, it was one of the schemes to try and earn money is to like make the grass grow high and then charge people to cut it with a goat.
Yeah, so they can get jawbreakers.
And Rolf as well, I mentioned. He's one of the characters in it, just like a side character kind of. And he's my favourite character in the show easily. He's like some weird farmer. I don't even know where he's meant to be originally from.
I don't know either.
He just has so many hilarious quotes, and the way he talks is hilarious. So what about you, Jack? Have you got any show?
Well, I loved Johnny Bravo. Absolutely loved Johnny Bravo. Looking back at it now, though, it's horrific. Like, it's so sexist. It's unbelievably sexist because he's just like, he does everything he can to try and pull a woman, but it's so wrong. It wouldn't be allowed. Well, it might be. I don't know, but probably wouldn't be allowed in a cartoon show now. But I can remember loads of different moments from it. Like I can even remember the first ever episode, I think, which was like I think it was like a bear escaped from a zoo, and he was like trying to find it so he could go out with the zookeeper woman, I think, and make himself look like a hero because he wrestled a bear. But I think the bear outsmarts him because he's supposed like Johnny Bravo is just thick as shit. I can't remember it exactly, but I'm sure that's what it is, and I'm sure he's like his best mate's like a little girl in it as well. Do you remember that?
Not at all, no.
I'm sure there's like a little girl that he would always hang around with. Did you
Yeah.
ever watch Johnny Bravo?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like I can even remember like watching, what was he on? Was it Cartoon Network or Boomerang? I think it was Boomerang, wasn't it?
It's Cartoon Network.
Was it? I remember there being like sort of like 5 minutes in the like adverts bit where they were like had like some sort of like panel, and Johnny Bravo would like be telling like cartoon news. It was amazing. He's the best character. He knows karate, and he just spins around really fast and changes his clothes. I'm sure that's the first like cartoon I ever watched where a character spins around really fast to change their clothes. You know that like a load of cartoons do that.
Trying to think, Jack, but I can't really think of any instances of cartoon characters spinning like that and changing clothes. But
It's a thing, I'm telling you.
I'm trying to go off memory, so you're probably right, but I just can't think of any instance. I don't know about you, Jonah, but I just can't.
Can't think of any in particular, but I feel like it has been done. I know what he means.
Yeah, right. So now we'll move on to some just honourable mentions. We'll not go in detail, but we'll just mention some names of shows that we've really liked over the years. Does anyone want to kick that off?
Oh well. Fairly Odd Parents.
Unbelievable. What a show.
Amazing.
What about Dexter's Laboratory?
Oh my god. I used to find Dee Dee really annoying. Like if she was my sister, like, and I was like a genius scientist, I'd have murdered her a long time ago, or sent her to a different dimension or something.
Probably a good thing that you weren't Dexter then.
I know, right? She ruined everything.
Another good one.
It's not a cartoon, but Drake and Josh.
I mean, we could
How
do a
good was
podcast on
that?
that show. It's so good. Like, Drake and Josh is so good. There's so many standout moments for that.
Give us your quote, Connor.
It's spherical. Spherical. It's so good. One episode when he gets the game sphere. It's brilliant. That.
And you can't leave out SpongeBob, can you?
Not when you're talking about classic kids shows. No.
It's probably the biggest one on TV, arguably.
It'd be hard to argue against, really. I
Really,
don't know.
really hard.
I'm trying to think, but none of them are that big at the minute.
But it's right to be big.
It is. You're right. It's really well made.
There's some amazing episodes in it, and some amazing characters.
It is. Right. Another one I'm gonna throw in the mix. The Jackie Chan Adventures.
Ah, Turkey! One more thing. I never watched it. I don't know what you're talking about.
That was a brilliant show, that.
I loved the intro, like where it would like cut to real life Jackie Chan running, and then cut to cartoon Jackie Chan running.
Oh, it's like clearly a green screen. He's running away from.
It's just amazing. What was it? What was the little girl in it? Is it Jade? Jade, wasn't she? Jade?
I don't know her name. No, you could be right.
Like black hair, I think.
Yeah. Joe used to wear like an orange hoodie, I think it was.
And she was proper sassy as out.
Oh, aye.
It's a mint show. Collecting the talismans.
Them talismans, man.
Give you like dragon powers and stuff.
Is there any other shows you want to mention?
What about Shaolin Showdown?
That's a proper obscure one, that I think.
Why? Like I probably watched that one of the most out of any cartoon.
It was so good. It was such a good show, but like, it kind of just. I think it just disappeared. I don't know.
I'm
Like,
sure it had like a few seasons as well. Like
yeah.
like it went on for a while, but they had all the like artifacts and things. Like I remember the Fist of Tevigon and the 2-ton tunic. I can't remember any more off the top of my head.
They used to
Those
like
were like
touch
super
it.
popular ones.
Two people used to touch it, and they were like, "Shaolin Showdown."
Yes.
You were like, "Fight on!"
No matter what, they'd always try and pick it up at the same time.
Yeah.
There was a few episodes that I remember where they didn't. Well, they did have a showdown in it, but it was because like, say like one person found one artifact, and then another person found another artifact, and then they were both searching for the same artifact and used the artifact that they found earlier to fight with.
Right.
If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So that was even cooler in an episode.
That's mint.
So then whoever won walked away with like all three. It was mint. Proper mint.
What about the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
Ah, it was so good.
Billy is
Grim
just
was
the
the
best.
best. Nah, Grim was
No,
the best.
Billy is the best.
No,
Billy's
Grim
dad
was
was the best.
They were all mint. They were just like, they all like counteracted each other's personality in that show, and they just all worked off each other. It was unbelievable.
It's so insane. Like, the plots and the things that happen in that is just like, it's so messed up. I don't know how anyone ever wrote it and thought this would be a mint cartoon.
Even like the recurring bad guys in it, like the dude who was clearly a Nazi commander or something. He would wear like the suit of like clearly a
Oh,
Nazi.
and he had a proper scar on his face.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then there was like a massive like bear. It was like a pink bear with a brain on top of it. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
I can't remember the names of them, but they were so wacky.
It was mint. I love that show.
Right, that about wraps up this episode. As always, you can find us on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter. You now get us on YouTube as well. Put up the episodes of the podcast, and we've got a few little gameplay videos on there as well now. Join our Discord as well. We've still got a Discord up for anyone to join. You can give us suggestions. You can talk to us, play games with us, anything like that. For the next episode, we plan to do a bit of a nostalgia trip. We'll talk about old music, films, and games we like. So thanks for listening. Day tight.